I don't know what to do.
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't say anything. We're starting.
Hello everyone, welcome to Quest Unplayed, where three gamers talk about everything and anything about games and have fun together. I'm George, the co-host of Quest Unplayed, and this quest is joined by Anthony,
Hi, everyone.
Zach,
Hi.
and we have another guest, Andrew.
Hey, thanks for having me.
He's like, hey guys.
We love having you. Before we actually start, this podcast is sponsored by Minimap, your ultimate gaming hub and a gaming companion app. Sync your game accounts, make your own game collection, connect with other gamers in our community, enjoy the original content, and basically do anything and everything about gaming on Minute. I'm gonna play that sponsor video.
That's a good time every time, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you think about the video, Andrew?
It had me moving along.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
good.
It's like a warm-up video or warm-up video. Yeah. So how is
But-
everyone doing?
When we getting the updated video?
Okay, I'm on it, boss. I mean, I know I have the video. Zach has seen it. Anthony, you probably have seen it too, but it's just not updated
Right?
yet. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll update it.
Is that the one you showed me at my house?
No, that's the one I presented in front of everyone.
Wait, there's another video he showed you at his house?
Uh-oh.
Maybe.
You missed the party, Anthony, when we were all at Zach's house.
You got to miss George sleeping a lot.
I was sleeping in the
Sleep?
car. I was sleeping in the
And
car.
then he would get home and go to the gym a lot more.
Ah.
It's like, oh, now I got a nap. I'm like, okay, buddy.
Anyways.
Anywho.
So, welcome to the podcast, Andrew. As you can see,
Thank you.
we're a little bit chatty, so I hope you feel comfortable talking with the three of us.
I'm waving at you, but it's
Yeah, it should be good.
over here.
All right.
Yeah, but let's wave the other way. Who's down there?
I don't know. I don't think it. You know, we might want to chill down how chatty we are on a podcast. Because who would want to be chatty on a podcast?
Exactly.
Wait.
Oh yeah, just an hour or so of silence. It'll be a new medium. It's good.
Uh-oh.
ASMR podcast.
You just have like a quick introduction, like, okay, this is our podcast. And then,
Just
I mean,
random-
I open the
just-
back of a potato chip.
yeah.
You just
people
have to
staring into
randomly
this hole.
type a little bit, and move a mic around every once in a while to make some noise. You know,
Yeah.
just like
That'd be funny.
yeah.
Yeah. But anyways,
I always wanted
and-
to get an ASMR skate. That'd be too easy.
so Andrew, could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your game and your studio?
Yeah, so my name's Andrew. I left my full-time job a couple of years back and decided to start making games full-time. I was hitting an age where I decided, I want to try something different, something weird, get out of my comfort zone. So Decaying Salvage is my third game that I am making. It is a third-person fixed camera horror thing, kind of reminiscent of how Resident Evil and horror was in the 90s, but with a fresh coat of paint, as you can kind of see on screen. Not going for that old retro look. So you're exploring a bunch of derelict spaceships to find parts to repair your own, and each ship has a unique monster. So unlike Resident Evil, where it's an increasing roster of enemies, each ship, part of the puzzle, is dealing with what is on board. And just repairing your ship in order to get back to Earth.
All right. That's pretty sweet. I mean,
Right on the head.
yep. And also,
I had a traumatic experience of playing Resident Evil back in the 90s.
me too. I actually was about to say
Hopefully I
that
can
too.
give you one too.
But this is a lot better of a graphic, I guess. Like the one I played was Resident Evil 2, I think. And then, like, you know how whenever you try to open like a door or something, and the whole screen changes into like a quiet, like there's no background, and like you're just like the door and yourself. And I would just drag my little brother and say, "Yo, sit down here, okay? Just be with me, so that I can open this goddamn door." I would have that all the time. So that's my experience in Resident Evil.
Yeah, I
That's what
played
I-
Resident Evil 2 when I was a teenager, and it gave me such bad nightmares that at 2 a.m. in the morning I was peeking out the curtains in case the zombies were coming
Yeah.
for me. It was great.
Yeah, good old 90s.
Oh yeah.
I miss the 90s.
Yeah. So do you personally like horror games, Zach?
Oh, I love horror. Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
This Zach?
Yeah, there's only.
love horror
Oh,
games.
sorry, Bob.
Oh, sorry, Bob.
Bob.
No, yeah, I love horror in general. You know, it's just it's a fun medium, but definitely horror games. It's like I think when we were talking to Cass last time, we were talking about how she liked puzzles,
Yes.
but then added in the fact that zombies were gonna eat you. And I was specifically thinking of Resident Evil, and they're like, "You gotta unlock this door," and they're like, and you're like, you're just like hitting the wrong button, and they're like, you're like, "Get off of me!" Remember the character would always do the shrug thing, and then
Yeah, always.
and oh god, you're just like crying. You're just like, I want to get it open. I miss those. Those were the games. You know what I mean? Now Resident Evil, they do all kinds of crazy stuff like giant ladies, and I don't know, man. They had to kick it up a notch. Like, what do we need to do? Some giant ladies and
Yeah, the giant
Stuff.
machine monster you had to fight. Yeah.
yeah. But back in the day, it was just like, can I unlock this door? And it was like,
It was just you and the monster. Yeah, you and the zombie.
Get it closer. And you start sweating and you start hitting the wrong buttons. You're like, I swear to God, it was the right button. And then it takes a chomp out of you.
Yeah,
Classic.
yeah. Good old days. I miss those.
But yes, I love horror games if they're done correctly.
Yeah. Yes,
I
that
think,
is true.
I think the one that has always that I never finished, but I should have, that just like sticks in my brain for like ever is the Outlast ones.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I'm like the whole time I played it, and the fact that you can't do anything to anybody, you're just like recording. I'm like, bro, put your camera down. Vamonos. We need to go.
Yeah, I've got moments from that burned into my brain. That's effective.
You're like, batteries running out. You're like, oh God, no. Why? The flashlight's dying. You're just like hiding. The second one was even weirder because there's a part where one of the guys like gets on top of you and starts licking your face, and you're like, what's gonna happen? No.
Oh, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you know what's gonna happen.
It didn't happen, but in my brain, I was like, "Oh God, it's gonna be bad." And he's like,
That's
and then
the
he leaves you
tease.
alone.
It's like a teaser right there.
Maybe I didn't finish the game, so maybe later.
Something happens, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's awesome. I guess we could talk a little bit more into detail about your game Decaying Salvage in a bit. But before, let's have fun and take the gamer type quiz.
All right.
Are you ready? Are you ready to face the truth? I'm just kidding.
Oh, we'll see.
Okay. The first question, it's finally the weekend after a long, tiring week. First, you ask a friend to play a video game together, or you need to spend quality time alone.
Quality time alone.
Okay.
Oh no. Okay.
The new game that just released isn't your type, but a friend is urging you to play with. It's not your cup of tea, so you refuse at first, but you buy it because you want to play together, or you listen to your friend's words and play together right away.
Listen to my friend's words.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you usually like regret playing together, or do you? Because like sometimes you just like buy it because like peer pressure, like
Peer pressure works.
Yeah. But,
Well, the funny thing is when you ask that question is the first question you ask, do you come home and play by yourself or with others? And he said alone, and then he said listen to his friends. So it sounds like it's a couple times his friend he's like, nope, not today, buddy.
or
No,
maybe he Andrew listened to his friends too many times and like they all
That's what I mean.
failed,
He was
and they're like, okay, I'm not gonna be listening to you guys
like,
anymore.
nope,
I'm
turn the
just gonna-
Discord off.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna play this game.
I'm just gonna play the game that I enjoy. Next question: you're thinking about joining a community with strict terms to get game information. First, from self-introduction to attendance check, that's too much, or it has good information, so getting ranked up after 3 days is no problem.
Oh, depends on my mood in the day.
Okay.
Probably the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, there's a lot of hoops to get through.
Yeah, right. Before you buy a game, you carefully read over other people's reviews, watch the trailer, check the price, or if the game looks interesting, you just trust your instinct and buy it.
I trust my instinct.
All
I
right.
prefer not to read reviews, yeah.
Okay. What's the latest game you bought?
Assassin's Creed Shadows. I picked that up the other day.
Oh. Did you like it? Are you liking it?
Yeah, I'm liking it so far. Played a couple of hours.
Oh, nice.
It's good.
Next, if someone is watching you play a game from behind, it's the perfect opportunity to show your amazing gameplay, or you're actually good at it, but due to the pressure, you're missing skill shots.
I'm missing those skill shots.
Yeah. Next, you're playing a newly released game for the first time. Rather than having regrets later on about missing something, you go over the tutorials, or the game seems to be similar to the one you've played before, you skip the tutorial.
I will skip those tutorials if I can.
Okay. So what about your game, Decaying Salvage? Should I go over the tutorials?
Well, they're built into the world.
Okay.
So it's kind of, it doesn't
have no
stop
choice.
you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it doesn't stop you. You can kind of just ignore it if you want. But
Okay.
yeah.
It's like one of those billboard signs that pop up as you drive by.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
You don't need to carry this med kit, but I want it. Give it to me.
Next, you're playing a mystery-solving game. Based on your years of experience, your mystery-solving games, that guy is the culprit, or you need to start collecting evidence first.
Collecting evidence.
Yeah.
I grew up on point-and-click adventures. You pick up everything you can.
Yes, very, very important. Those will be handy later on. Next question. In order to equip the rune that increases defense by 0.01%, you have to return to the lobby. That's not a big difference, and your friends are waiting, so you just go, or you tell your friends to wait a moment, and you go back to the lobby to equip the rune.
Oh, not a big difference. If it was a cosmetic item and I looked a lot better, then I'd be going to the lobby.
Okay. During gameplay, your companion's character has been bitten by a zombie. You might be able to find the cure, so you decide to accompany them, or everyone in your group can get infected, so you choose to kill them, even though it is tragic.
Might be able to find a cure, but keep them very close. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So
You walk in front, buddy. That's what I would say.
Next question. Even if I don't express it, you feel like you keep losing because of your friend. You lift up your friend's spirit, or you send them the link to characters, tips, and tricks.
I lift up their spirits.
Okay. I guess that's like the first step. If you're not losing like 10 times in a row or something. Next, the character has bad performance, but the appearance is totally your type. Considering the balance of your party, I cannot put them in my party, or I have to put my favorite character in the party no matter the cost.
They've got to be in my party no matter what.
Okay. Yes. Next, your current desktop is messy with tons of icons, or you hate chaotic things, so your desktop is neatly cleaned.
It is beautifully cleaned.
I actually want to see that. I actually want to see your desktop, because we've never had a person who said beautifully clean. So, next question. Before getting into the game, you search the internet just in case you end up missing achievements, or you have never played a game for the achievements.
I wouldn't say never, but I definitely don't look up guides. So, yeah, the second one.
Okay. Last but not least, you who happens to play a lot of games, play a game you feel like playing at the moment from your collection, or you have a gaming schedule on when to beat a certain game.
Play a game I feel like playing.
And then the most recent one you're playing is Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah.
Is it going to save the future of Ubi?
That's... I think they need to make a few more changes.
Okay. Oh, you're a summoner. Oh, that's a very rare one.
Oh,
Great friends. She'll never be alone.
Okay, let's see. Being alone gets so lonely. So let's see. You have a group of people that you always play games together. You don't care how much the game is. You buy the game if you want to. You are a game hopper, so you play several games at once. You're an excellent mind reader. You're scanning the party member's thought in real time. You feel at peace hanging out around with the same people, but you hate the idea of being summoned to places that are unfamiliar to you. You consider yourself as a social misfit, but your friends deny it. You can't stand holding your teams back. You think you would do well as a streamer, but you will never actually become one.
That pretty much nailed it.
Did it? Okay, that's good. That's good. I mean, this is just for fun, but sometimes people are like kind of like scared, like, oh my gosh, that's basically me. So you're good with a gentle cleric, and you do not fit well with mind reading merchant.
Mind reading merchant.
Oh, that was fun.
We never got anyone that.
Yeah, we've never had.
I want to see that.
We had a couple at South by Southwest, but it was like
maybe like
one of the
10,
rare.
yeah,
it was one of the rarest ones.
probably like I don't know, 10 or less. 10. So
I think we had like 2 nuke mages.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And you like explore or multi-survival games. Just a suggestion. Nice.
Yeah. Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, this is just for fun. So
Yeah.
all right. So we've had a rare one. Okay, so I think we're ready to move on to the next, our first bulletin board, or waypoint, I'm sorry. The bulletin board waypoint, the weekly game chronicles. This is where we talk about the weekly news that has happened in the gaming world. And the first one we kind of want to talk about is inZOI surpassing, being like the top wishlisted game as of now. I guess it surpassed Silksong as well, and Deadlock. So that was a big news, I guess, because
Big win for the Korean publisher.
yeah, I guess. I was there for the media. They had like an online media showcase thingy, just for the press in here in Korea. And he answered, or the producer, the head producer, the chief, I don't know what exactly it's called, but chief producer, answered a lot of questions. I mean, it looks really, really cool. I mean, he had, big ambitions and what he actually wanted to do with the inZOI. But he said, he actually admitted that it's not a complete game yet. It's in early access, so it needs a lot more work than what is out right now. I think
I crapped on, huh?
yeah, and
I feel like being in early access for that game is probably the smart move.
yeah, I think so too.
Because if you think about it, that game is gonna be massive.
I mean, it is already massive.
Yeah, but the amount of stuff they could keep adding.
It's like basically like Sims, but like better. Or I don't want to say better, but like in a different thingy. I guess a lot of people in Korea said, "Oh, isn't this like just like Sims?" But I think with a lot of the advanced technology and all the things that they have implemented in the game, it feels like it could be bigger than Sims, and you never know.
I just hope there's not 100 DLCs that goes with it.
That's what I was thinking too. Like we were just talking. Actually, on the day of showcase, our team we're talking. We're heading to lunch. We're talking about it. If you actually buy all the DLCs for Sims, like with full price, that's gonna cost you like $10,000 or something.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
There's like 700 DLCs or whatever. So,
Yeah.
so.
I just yeah.
Yeah, and also the director promised that all the DLCs or the update DLCs will be free until fully released. So everything that goes from here till the full release, I don't know when they're going to be actually fully releasing it. It's going to be all free. So I guess that's good. I mean,
yeah, no DLCs during early access is a good thing.
Yeah, I think that is true.
Yeah, I mean they got to pay themselves.
Yeah,
somehow.
Mm.
You know
so.
what I mean?
They are.
So Andrew, are you a big Sims fan, or do you like simulation games?
I haven't played a Sims game for a while.
Okay.
I think I bought Sims 4 and never really got into it. But when I was in high school, I was addicted to the first one.
Okay.
That was great.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
What was the best part?
It was just something different. Just building houses. It's probably where my enjoyment of reorganizing furniture comes from.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
It was like I think that was when that first came out. That was a lot different than SimCity.
Yes.
Because SimCity you were just organize a city, and Sims you were actually organizing people's lives and stuff. So it's just grown into such a huge community. It's just weird though too, because I'm reading on inZOI, and it's like live your perfect life. Do you think that some people might get so addicted to that game that they don't actually try to live their perfect life in real life?
That actually could be a problem because I don't know, because like it's basically you're becoming like the god of your own world, I guess, in all these games. So.
Let's get ready. Ready Player One.
Yeah, or that, yeah, exactly. That too. Yes.
Yeah, I get the treadmill.
Yeah. And
I just think that's just weird. Though it's not bad to me. I'm not trying to diss it. I don't. Yeah. It's just those kind of games are cool and all, but it's just when it's somewhere you can like you get your dream job and you can make the person as buff and pretty as they want to be, but in real life you're like, I don't care about that stuff.
I guess
it's kind of a weird.
Yeah, it could make you feel depressed, I guess, in a way, because
that's what I was gonna say.
It can also help your dream, like something you want to try to do. Like I play a lot of simulator games also, so it's like, you want to be a fisherman, you get to play all these fish simulator games, or like farm simulator, because you would never see me behind a tractor.
Yeah, exactly. Or those flight simulators.
I can help you with that, man. I'll teach you how to do a tractor. Go fishing together.
Or going to flight simulator. Yeah, for example, flight simulator, you would never be behind the pilot.
Tractors are expensive in real life, though. So if you drive tractors, you can't afford them.
But you can afford to buy inZOI or Sims.
So yeah, like playing these kind of games, they give us that opportunity of, if we had a chance to start fresh again, what will you pick?
So Anthony, if you can actually select a game or choose a job or whatever you do in inZOI or any of the Sims games, what would you want to be? What kind of like in profession? And this goes for
the correct answer is podcast host, by the way.
Okay.
He's testing you.
Oh gosh, yes,
that's a good answer.
That was a good answer, actually.
I liked it.
I mean, this goes for everyone, I guess. Scarface, okay.
I just come back as Scarface and see how long it took for everybody to murder me. Come on, you cockroaches! Nah.
You are a big Scarface fan.
I'd have some fun. Get a couple of fast cars, sell some stuff I'm not supposed to sell, and have big machine guns.
That is true.
Sounds like a plan.
That sounds like. I think the producer at inZOI did mention. I don't know. I've never played. I did play a Sims game like when I was really really young, so I don't remember exactly because I didn't play like a whole lot. But he did mention that you can actually die in inZOI, and there are like 6 ways you can actually die.
Have funerals for you in inZOI?
I don't know. I mean, he didn't mention anything about the funeral, but you can actually die there. Like if you get like too sick from eating like poison food or something. You can drown, fall from like tall places and stuff.
Jeez.
How would that work? If you die, your character's lost, and what you got to start a new character?
That, I guess, I think they're gonna be revealing that more later on. But he said the whole team actually thought about this. Like how if the character dies, what happens, and should we actually consider applying that mechanism into the game, because it's like basically it's a life. Basically, you're like creating your own life, I guess, inside of the game. So
it'd be awesome.
Attached to this person.
Yes, exactly.
It could cause actual grief.
Exactly.
As I say, it'd be awesome is if you died, you get to come back as a ghost, just walking around haunting people in inZOI, just like knocking stuff off like a cat.
We'll find out what happens.
But what about our guy? What would you do?
Me?
Yeah.
Andrew?
Well, I love making games, but I've always just been drawn to the idea of running like a comic book store. Which would be
nice.
Absolutely awesome. Not really financially viable these days, but it would be awesome to do.
Nice. That's a good.
Well, not where I live, at least.
Oh yeah, I would say I've seen some, but usually they carry cards too, because like Magic the Gathering cards still are like pretty expensive and stuff. So
yeah, cards, figures, all that kind of pop culture stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, we were actually at some of those places when I was in Texas with Zach. We visited some of those stores where they sell like comic books and all these merches.
I'm a nerd.
Yeah, I'm a nerd too. So
do you? Do you frequent comic book stores or?
The closest one to me is about 3.5 hours away.
Dear God.
I used to.
Oh.
But yeah, we moved to like far away from big cities. So yeah, I haven't been to one for a while.
Okay.
I don't know if they can get them where you're at. But I used to actually, I was at a place once where there was not comic books, and I actually used to order them from a New York place. I can't remember the exact name of it. It was like Midtown Comics or something like that. But they would ship me like number. That's how nerdy I was. I was like, I gotta get the new Spawn, and I'd order them. And
I mean, those if you actually have them like in a good shape, you can actually get some money out of it too. These
yeah, baby.
Them physical collections.
You didn't see them, but I have boxes full of bagged, boarded comics that I read like this.
There's a reason why you didn't show me that, because just in case I take it back home.
And they're deep. We were really tired, and they're deep into my closet. Like they are super. Like I got big, long boxes like this, and you were like, "Oh, that's not." And you're like, pick it up. You're like, "What the?" I guess it could have been a good workout for you. You know.
I could have been a good workout. It's like 50 pounds.
Yeah,
it was heavy. I'm pretty sure, but yeah, I just had to ask because I'm as a comic book nerd. I was like, "Ooh, comics as well." Very nice.
Yeah, I just read them digitally at the moment, but it's just not the same.
Yeah, exactly.
It isn't. No, it's not.
I feel the same.
It's cool that you can kind of read any story you want, but in the same sense, getting that book and that smell, and that just turning it. I used to be so bad. I'd buy two, one for reading and one to bag and board.
Yeah, I never went down that route. No.
No, my wife would get so pissed. She's like, "Did you spend $60?" And this is back in like early 2000s, right? She's like, "You spent $60 at a comic book shop?" I'm like, "There was maybe like trying to." She's like, "You can't. What's going on here?" I'm like, "Nothing."
It's like me purchasing a bunch of Funko Pops every time.
I know that could be expensive because I went back to the Toys R Us that we went last time, and I found a Chainsaw Man at the bottom, and I was like, "How much is this?" And I picked it up, and I was like, "Not today." I put it back down.
My friend's like, Toys R Us there? Oh man,
it's like a tiny one. George was there. We went for Sajan's kiddo, but of course I ran around and got a little tiny Kirby mini block and some Legos for my kids. But I found last time I went there, I found Chainsaw Man Funko Pop, the big one, like the $60 one, and I was like, something inside of me was like, "Do it," and I was like, "No, fight."
No, you should do it.
If Anthony was there, he'd been like, "Do it." I'm like, "No, I can't." Just crying.
If Anthony was there, he would have shipped it back home.
Dark side.
He would have grabbed it.
Yeah,
took off.
I would have done. I've done it before.
Yeah. All right. But anyways, so inZOI is the most anticipated game of all time, or not all time, but like as of now, it's over Silksong. But by the way, Silksong was mentioned several times in the few last.
Yeah, it got that GeForce update thing.
GeForce update.
How big is the team working on inZOI though? It's got to be a pretty big team.
Probably like hundreds. Krafton is a big company.
More than 100. Yeah.
I think
to pull that project off from what I'm looking at.
Yeah, and I think as of now, I think Krafton has to be at least like top 3 biggest gaming company in Korea. Like, so that's big, pretty big.
Krafton. Who else is there?
Nexon is up there. Nexon.
NetEase is that
Chinese?
Korea. Chinese, yeah.
And then NC was there, but I mean they dropped. I mean, other than them two, I think they're like the 2 biggest now. Yeah, and I guess so. Yeah. Like in terms of like the size of the company, I don't know about like IP power or whatever. But anyways, yeah. So that's cool. I mean, I really.
I'm still more excited for Silksong.
Me too. Like I really want Silksong to come out this year at least, or
because I'll never be able to turn myself into a little.
So here's a question. Here's a question: if Silksong and GTA 6 came out at the same time, which game are you buying?
Me or Anthony?
Versus anyone.
You already know it's Silksong for me.
Yeah.
GTA for me. I can say I've never played Hollow Knight. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I can leave
It's
now if you want.
No, you're
No,
good. No. That's why there's all kinds of gamers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, respect everyone. I mean, there's no right answer, but like, if just in case if they come out at the same time, I mean,
it's GTA for me.
Yeah.
I need to drive a tank in the middle of the city.
Yes. I guess the correct answer would be buy both, but like,
What if inZOI kind of? I don't know if they're gonna. Did they say they're gonna have any like elements in the game that's like Grand Theft Auto, because they could possibly take over that arena of, because most people they play the game, like the story of the game, but then they play the role playing acts. That the role playing. Yeah. What if inZOI becomes that?
It could.
I mean,
but you can't drive a tank in the middle of a city.
Yeah, also.
But that's what I'm saying. What if they start doing that? They're like, hey,
if your dream job is tank driver, then maybe you
can. I like to commute with my tank.
They're like, hey man, you gotta park your tank before you go home. No, I'm taking it with me.
Try to park your tank in the middle of the street, trying to get coffee at a Starbucks.
Yeah,
sticking it through the drive-thru.
I think I can't remember if it was 80s or 90s, but that was literally a movie when I was growing up as a kid, where a guy got mad and he just started driving tanks around and blowing stuff up.
Everyone was like nice to him.
No, the cops were chasing him. It was like back before they had like anything that could stop a tank. He was with his son, and he was pissed off at the sheriff department, so he blows up the sheriff department. And I
remember that. Oh,
that sounds really familiar.
Yeah,
it's an old movie. Yeah,
it's old, but it was basically where this dude was mad and his son, and he was a tank guy, and he was like, okay, I guess today is the tank day.
Yeah, but okay, so I guess we'll figure out how inZOI does, but. Please, Silksong, come out. And next news that we want to talk about a little bit is the Dreamhaven Showcase. This actually, Anthony, you wanted to kind of talk about this a lot, actually.
Well, just a little bit.
Yeah.
They had the showcase today. It was actually hosted by the Game Awards.
Was Jeff Keighley was there? Okay.
He was the host.
Shout out to G.
It was like a 25 minutes. It was a 25-minute showcase.
Okay.
So they're trying to show what they're working on since when they because Dreamhaven is basically a lot of people who work there are ex-Blizzard and Activision people who left the company and to go start their own company, their own self-published. I guess you can call it indie company now because. They're publishing and developing their own games, and it's a lot of people, like the entire maybe about 100 staff went and started a company, but they showcased 3 games that they're working on. All 3 of them, all 3 of them caught my attention. Yeah, so Wildgate is a PvP crew-based game. Shooter. So think of like Overwatch, except for you're in space and you live the life of a space crew criminal group. And
is it like
robbing. No, well,
wait,
it's like you are.
It's like you're. Wait, say that again, because that was a lot for me to handle in one sentence. It's like Overwatch, but you're in space and you're criminals.
Yeah, well, basically, you're a 4-player crew. So you navigate in space. Each map is generated.
Okay.
And you try to beat the other crew by claiming their loot and stuff, and you upgrade your vessel. So you are stealing, repairing, and piloting your vessel in space.
That's Wildgate, right? The one I'm looking at right now?
That's Wildgate, yeah.
But in an Overwatch style, you say?
Overwatch kind of style, yeah, because it's first-person shooter.
Okay.
That sounds ambitious. Sounds fun.
It is, but
sounds very ambitious.
Fun.
Though.
It looks really fun. I mean, come on, space criminals.
Space criminal Overwatch, yeah, got it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
The other one that they also showed this, which is actually coming out in April. It's called Thunderfolk, which is couch co-op tactical RPG game.
Couch co-op tactical RPG, okay.
It reminds me a lot of like similar to what is it? What was that game that was on Blizzard that had like a card? Was it Heroes of the Storm or something? That was all based on cards.
Hearthstone?
Like
The Blizzard
Hearthstone?
had?
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you talking about Hearthstone?
Runeterra. No, that
Runeterra,
was
is that the one?
League of Legends.
Yeah.
Runeterra
Runeterra is Riot. Hearthstone is
Hearthstone is
Blizzard.
Yeah, so it's like something similar to like that. You know, when you think about.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It looks like it's a grid-based fighter as well.
It is grid base. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a turtle in it.
It
Yay!
looks gorgeous though.
Okay.
Yeah, you could tell that it looks like in all the games I've seen so far. So I'm just watching all the trailers.
Yeah.
It looks like they stole definitely some artists and animators when they left from the old Blizzard games.
What?
I mean, they're the one.
They're the one got laid off.
It's not stealing them, it's basically recruiting them.
Well,
like,
yeah, you know, not stealing, but you know what I mean. Like you could see the art is definitely
that's their talent. You gotta use that.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't change a person's talent. That's their talent. That's their life talent. But yeah, it looks like a very fun game. Also, you could play with other people on their phones or tablet too, if you're on console or PC.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that is pretty cool. Okay,
that's George. George loves that stuff.
I know. I'm down.
Of course. And of course, the last one they announced was something was called Link: Banner of the Spark, which is basically roguelike RPG cozy town building game.
Okay, that's
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay.
Yeah, the guy's got a bionic arm too.
Yeah, evil robots.
Yeah, evil robots.
Robot, cozy, like okay.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
this is how robot violence starts because of games like this.
Which is also
he just caught a robot fish. Oh wow, okay.
You could play in solo or co-op. So basically, all three games have multiplayer options.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
There's another one on here too called Mechabellum.
That's something that they're working on. That's another project.
Looks like an RTS.
It is an RTS version. They're trying to copy StarCraft.
They're gonna be,
but they're dealing with mechs.
They're doing mechs, though. Yes.
It looks pretty dope, actually.
Nice.
I'd like a new good RTS.
So Andrew, what is your favorite Blizzard game? Do you ever play?
Favorite Blizzard game? Probably the one I lost the most time to was StarCraft back in the day.
Nice.
The original.
So
I played that a lot.
Okay. Yes.
That's all of us.
That's all of us right here. Like our childhood.
Well, losing
StarCraft.
Yeah, of course. We lost. Hey, that was our daily mission.
Yeah.
So yeah, StarCraft and Diablo 2, I lost a lot of time to that.
Oh yeah, same here. Diablo 2.
Years ago and recently, so.
Did you ever run the Moo mission? Moo.
I remember gathering all the things to get there, yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Cows walking around with bikes trying to kill you.
Yeah, that's actually the same with me. My childhood is like StarCraft, Diablo 2, Counter-Strike.
Oh, love Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I think those are in some Korean MMORPG games. But
I do got to say that it's kind of cool to see that these people all kind of lost their place at Blizzard, but then they band together to make a whole new place. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think Dreamhaven sounds cooler than Blizzard, just saying.
And I really hope, recently the whole team at Marvel Rivals also are laid off too, so maybe they could kind of recoup and, gather. And
I mean, it's the same thing with that other team that did Vision of Mana. You remember?
Yes. They all got laid off.
But they started their own JRPG studio.
Nice. I hope they succeed.
So, yeah, being laid off kind of opens doors for you, more possibility.
So quick
I could
question.
see that. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Zach.
I was going to say, you saying that kind of makes me think too. I wonder how many of these people are just tired of doing Blizzard stuff. You know what I mean? They're like, All right, let's do another Overwatch character today. Oh my god! So they're probably happy to work on some different like projects. It's their own project.
I think that
Yeah, get to do something fresh. That's
yes.
good.
Also, you can actually be creative rather than do whatever is asked. You're like asked to do, like doing the same thing over and over again. But
I think that would be one of the hardest things being in a big gaming company is they're like, this is the formula, let's stick to it. And like for me, like I get bored at work after like a couple of days. I'm like, all right, what else? You know what I mean? So I could imagine people going crazy. If you want to make games, you want to make games. You don't want to.
Yeah, that's why I never went the route of trying for big studios.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you, Andrew. Have you ever been? Have you ever worked in a AAA or a big gaming studio before? Or
no, I went to university to study games programming and engine design and all that. And a few people I know went on to bigger companies, and it's just something I never wanted to be doing because I wanted to be able to make what I wanted to be making.
Okay, yeah,
I love that.
I really love that too.
I think we hear that from so many indie devs too, and that's I think one of the reasons why I love indie devs so much. Yeah,
because I think they're like very, I would say, kind of like brave in a way, because if you try to like apply and get a job in AAA studios, you'll probably get good money and good worker benefits and all that, but you kind of are taking the risk and just going in your own, like exploring your own world, I guess, and trying to.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge risk. It was not something I chose lightly.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, I got to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, to do something that you create, and I mean, that'll feel good. You know what I mean? If you're happy with what you finish, no matter what happens after that.
Yeah.
It feels amazing. Yeah.
And especially when people are starting to, play your game and kind of saying good things about, leaving positive reviews and all that. You're like, oh my gosh, I've created this beautiful thing, and then people kind of understand what I've created and they like it. That's gotta feel.
And then you never know.
I could see you being at parties where like, hey man, so what do you do for a living? He's like, I'm a truck driver. I'm this and that. And you're like, I am a game dev. Yes. I was like, oh,
that actually happened to me once, though.
Did it really?
Well, not like a truck party. So I went to a game convention once, and it was an after party, right? And we were all just meeting. My friend, who was part of Obsidian Entertainment, he's the director. He introduced me to a bunch of people. They first thought I was a developer. I'm like, I ain't no developer because I got people here from, this person. Yeah, I developed. I was part of the team that did Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Oh, I was the team that did Battlefield. I was like, oh.
I was like, what do you do? You're like, what I do is it's very complicated.
Yeah.
I can't really.
Yeah, you can say like, I actually played this game and I played that game. I reviewed them.
You're like, I am a software engineer critic.
That's what actually happened.
Make up some strategic title.
But you know who asked me that? It was the director for Larian Studio who did Baldur's Gate.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm trying to think, what kind of answer should I give?
Yeah, I played Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I'm a critic.
I think I don't think I'd be able to talk normal if I saw Pseudo 51. I'd be like, no. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
Just stare at him.
Just scream and run away.
Yeah.
Hi. He's like, does he speak? I'm like, no, I don't know words.
Yeah, but so I guess we've got a lot to look forward to. I guess inZOI and the Dreamhaven Studios games, and I guess they do.
I'm just really that just makes me actually really happy that they. I don't know why it makes me so happy they made their own little studio.
Yeah,
and they're just doing their thing.
That's good.
The games look gorgeous. They have their own website. If you guys want to look it up, Dreamhaven.
Yeah. So,
good on you.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, check that out after this. Sounds good.
It's really pretty. But you could definitely tell that they got all their artists.
Yes.
Let's meet our dev.
Every single one.
Yeah. But anyways, I think we're ready to move on to the next waypoint, the companion waypoint. This is where we talk about the dev's game and journey and studio and everything about the game, the dev. I'm sorry. So before we actually start talking about your game, Decaying Salvage, let's watch the trailer with sound so that we know what.
Whatever you do, stay out of the shadows. Come get me, you son of a...
It's always awkward hearing my voice at the start of that.
That was your voice?
Wait a minute. That's never a thing you want to wake up to.
Can I go back to sleep?
Nah, ship's broken.
She walked right through restricted area. She's
Yeah.
like, nope.
Scavenged. Oh.
Can I say that those monsters standing up sounded like me in the morning when I stand up with my knees?
Oh yeah, and my knees, my back, everything.
That's what you use for the sound effects. Like,
Oh, I should have
Alright,
done
let's go.
Foley sound on myself. Yeah, been great.
just watching them stand up, I'm like, wait a minute, is that me? Crackle. I played
for
your
it.
demo yesterday,
Me
and
too.
then I thought it was funny because when you said you were kind of basing off of Resident Evil, that's what I was like thinking. When I first started playing, I was like, this feels an awful lot like kind of like a Resident Evil type game.
Yeah.
So I guess you kind of answered. Was that maybe what was your inspiration behind it? Like, what made you want to do this game?
So what made me want to do this one? That's a multi-part answer. My direct inspirations for this, Resident Evil 2, because it scared the absolute crap out of me as a child. Dead Space.
love Dead Space.
Hangar bit you see is kind of a very direct homage to Dead Space. And the movie Event Horizon was a big...
so good.
big inspiration for it.
Isn't it? What
Darkness,
is Event
Sunset
Horizon
Fire.
tied into though? That's actually tied into a game, isn't it? Event Horizon.
Like
People say that it might be tied into Warhammer 40k because of the whole...
Oh yeah, that's
thing.
it.
This is a fan theory, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good game. Or movie too. Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's the direct inspirations behind it. But why I wanted to make it. Decaying Salvage started as a first-person game with no combat and was only meant to take about 9 to 12 months to develop. So I did a demo for that, sent it off to a few people. They're like, hey, this is pretty cool. And then I went for a walk one day and just in my head, I'm like, what if I just make, like fixed camera, make it like old Resident Evil. And then, I spent probably about half an hour just fiddling with cameras. Character wasn't animated, just sliding around all over the place. And I'm like, this feels good. The motivation I felt to make this kind of game compared to the first person version was just amazing. Like it just, really lit something in me. It was great.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, I think so too. Because it's very unique, and then it brings me back some memories from Resident Evil series and all the good games that had fixed cameras. So
yeah, and I felt like first person was because I did kind of semi first person with my last game, and there's so many first person horror games that trying to just have a little bit of individuality in the market. I just wanted to try something a little different that also meant a lot to me when I was growing up.
To be honest, I don't even like first person horror games. I prefer third person.
Thank God.
Well, it's because it has that vibe. Like you think nothing would jump scare you, but it still jump scare you in a way, even in the third person.
Yeah.
Because the camera angles might change or something.
Yeah,
Similar
it's
to
good.
like
You can
Dead Space,
hide
like you
a lot.
said. Yeah.
I think it always depends to me on what's going on in the game as far as in if it's good or not for first person. Because I think when I always think back at like one of the original, like what could have been a really good, it's kind of a horror game when it comes to first persons is Doom. Because everybody remembers the plot to the very first Doom, you would literally wake up on a ship as like the last surviving crew member, Marine, and all your friends are dying on the screen in front of you, and you got to go figure out how to survive. I was like, now he just murders everything. So, but that's what that makes. But yeah, third persons are like sometimes you could do some really cool stuff with the camera angles, like over the shoulder when something's happening and you're freaking out, like like back in the day when Resident Evil do that crappy camera angle, you try to figure out how to spin it around so you can see what's happening. You're like, why? But yeah.
Oh, you think you're going back and forth between camera and you're thinking that the scene might reset?
I used to hate when you would leave one area and then it would click off of something and you couldn't see what was there, but it was like dangerously behind you. You're like, damn it! So you're like trying to turn around to see the monster and it's attacking you. So
yeah, there's a lot of thought that goes into the camera placement because I don't want it to be unfair. I don't want it to be obscuring too much, but I also want to just be able to show what I want to show.
That's another thing. When I was playing Resident Evil back then, is when I was shooting the zombies, I always have a hard time shooting the zombie in that camera angles.
That's why I added the laser sight to the gun.
Yeah,
because it was a pain in the ass.
I
I'm
gave
like,
it a
laser
laser sight.
sight to the future. It's fine.
yeah, give it a laser sight.
Yeah, you know where you were aiming at. So
I gave a laser sight on purpose so that. Have you ever heard of a game called another kind of game that kind of reminded me of your game? I don't know how well it really did. Have you ever heard of a game called Daymare?
Daymare. Name sounds familiar, but I haven't played it.
It's not. It's kind of an indie game, but it reminds me kind of a little bit of your game.
Okay.
Yeah, not like yours is in space. Daymare is like on ground, but it's a third person, very Resident Evil like. So it brought a bunch of similarities to me, like the play style, if that makes any sense.
I might have to check that out for inspiration.
Yeah, I went straight back to it reminds me of like kind of back in the day Resident Evil, the the old school one, like yours did when I was playing it.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah, definitely. And I wanted to make sure I stayed away from the tank controls that were in the original Resident Evil because testing those, like they're not fun.
They're rough.
They're really not fun.
They're rough. Yeah.
I should just put a toggle in there if people want them. But
okay.
Yeah.
But
I want to go now.
because I feel like I haven't played any fixed camera angle horror games recently. I haven't had a chance to play any of those. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a few. Echoes of the Living is one that I was playing. They've done a few demos of. That's actually pretty good. Looks very like Resident Evil Remake.
Okay.
Like the one they did on GameCube and since put everywhere else. So that's another really good one.
Oh.
Nice.
You gotta tell me your birthday when you go to look at the game.
Yeah, because it's the
it hasn't come out yet. It's got a prime release date.
Yeah, so there's been a few demos. They're considering early access. They're kind of leaving that up to the community whether they do early access to finish off another side story scenario.
Looks so much like the old Resident Evil.
Yeah,
they're all going for that horror approach.
Are you talking to the devs and be like, hey, when are you releasing? I don't want to release the same time you do, guy. Like,
I probably should. Yeah.
Yeah. Or we should do like a bundle package thing. So
don't release at the same time. Dang it.
Yeah. A lot of us do bundle packaging.
Yeah, they could do that.
Because it's they only have this is only their only game.
Yeah. Besides the gameplay and camera angle, I guess my question was like, what is the meaning of your studio name, like this Stasis Booth?
So I had a lot of trouble coming up with a name for the company, but it is everything from the name to the logo is a reference to the old 80s kind of still going TV show called Red Dwarf. It's like a BBC sitcom. So a stasis booth is like a sci-fi thing where you go in, time can't penetrate, so you can travel long periods of time without aging. And then you've got the snake, which is the Ouroboros, going around it. So it was just basically one big reference because I needed a name to fill in the company forms.
Yeah.
But it's also something that's personal to me. I love that show so much, and it's influenced most of my sense of humor throughout my life.
That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
And I see you actually have your own little page on Steam. Thank you. That's awesome.
Oh, that's all right.
I feel sad when people don't have their own like little area. You know what I mean? So that I can't go follow them and see what they're going on, because you've made other games before this one.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
that's super cool.
Yeah, one before I was an actual proper company, and then one since I became company man.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, are you a solo dev, or do you have any teams that you work with, or?
Yeah, solo dev. So that means as I started, can't afford to pay anyone. So
Oh, okay.
But I do work with a few people when it comes to things I can't do, such as all the voice acting, the music. I had someone reach out who loved the look of the game. They've since tried the demo, and they're going to be doing music for the demo. Their name is Tweaklab. Shout out to them because they're absolutely awesome. And also been put in contact with an Australian voice actor. She's done a lot of Australian media. She's been in some other stuff like Thor, Love and Thunder, I think it was. And she'll be doing some voices for the main character.
Oh,
so
all right.
if I can't do it, then I'll outsource. But I'm the only person working in these four walls.
I don't think that's bad though.
Yeah.
There's just a lot more stress on you, I'm sure, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're like, definitely, yes. Because I'm guessing you doing the voice for the girl would be get away from me! They're like, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. But it would be funny. I would be like, this.
It's because the oxygen level was low that the voice.
Yeah.
You gotta add a story into it. Yeah, add a story into it.
He knows a way to like twist it. He's like, so what happens? The nitrogen went up, and that's super cool.
Yeah,
but
perfect idea.
Did you when you're reaching out to people and you're making games like this, and does anybody ever just get like super excited you picked them to do like the voices and stuff? Like, do you ever get like a good response or?
Yeah. So since I made my first game, I kind of made some connections with people. So when it came time to finding voice actors for We Are Not Alone, which is my last game, people were like super excited to actually be doing voices for it, which was really nice. It's not like I can do this thing. It's I really want, tell me all about the character, send me the script, blah, 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 blah. And it was really exciting. Yeah.
That's dope. Well, just if you have any old mustache guys in this game, I could do a good mustache guy voice. Just FYI. It's free.
I'll put one in for you. There you go. Done.
Like, hey, you could be a janitor. Like, you don't want to go down that hall. Pretty sure you're gonna die.
Just to see Zach Mike mopping right there.
Don't go back there.
like a cameo.
The only guy left is a janitor. He's like, everything's dead. No, it's a bad idea. Just get on your ship and leave. I'm telling you right now.
Sounds good. I'll put someone in for you.
That'd be a funny twist. Like if she just the whole time could have just left, and you're like, "What are you doing here?" Like, could have just left. She's like, "What? Oh, dang it!" No, that's super cool.
Yeah. So, how did you come up with the narrative of all the settings and all the backgrounds and the characters and all that? So, how did you? Why taking place in space?
Why taking place in space? I love sci-fi.
Okay.
I've been a big sci-fi nerd forever, and some of the inspirations Dead Space and Event Horizon take place on just a ship, basically. So the sense of isolation that you can do in space where there isn't really any help coming, you're really far away. Sci-fi is just, always grabbed me because you can do some weird and fantastical stuff. I mean, you can do that on Earth as well if you wanted to. But just, being in space, navigating to different ships, yeah, that's why I decided to do it in space. In terms of the art and everything, I'm no artist. I'm a programmer, so I can edit models and make them unique, edit textures, things like that. But yeah, I just use asset packs that I buy, modify to fit my purpose, make sure everything's coherent, because you don't want like a cartoon thing next to something that's meant to look semi-realistic.
Right.
So yeah, that's basically my program, my process. Yeah, find things that fit, modify them, and yeah, put it all together. So if I could afford an artist, that would be amazing, but we'll see if the time comes.
I mean, looking at what you have for what you've built, as far as I feel like that's appropriate for the type of game you're trying to make. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you could do a different art style with that.
Yeah, yes, just something more custom, because there's some people out there that they'll see your game and they're like, oh, I've seen that asset somewhere else. And then they're like, oh, I need to bring the developer's attention to that. It's like, I work with what I can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, I do what I can, okay?
Yeah, like I'm the only person working on this, okay? Like I only have 2 hands.
I mean, still, that's a pretty big feat in itself, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's... So how long is this project been going on, and when is the door for the release? Window for release?
So the development for just the project as a whole started June last year, so a couple of months after I released We Are Not Alone. And yeah, I went first person. I worked on that for a few months and then made the big change to the third person fixed camera, thought about adding combat, and yeah, things just got progressively more intense of what I was actually trying to do with it. But from what I've learned in previous games, can easily do it. And I do this full time, so yeah, I've got the time to do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've been working on this version of the demo since about November, December last year, with a public demo probably in about a month, because I'm just speaking to the voice actor, working with the composer as well, just trying to get a little bit more professionalism into it, polish it up a little bit more, and then full release probably next year sometime. There's no set date. When it was a first-person game with no combat, it was just going to be a pure like puzzle exploration, run away from the horror, and that was going to be a lot quicker to develop.
Good idea.
Yeah. So yeah, I just wanted to expand a little bit, just try flex my brain a little bit more, try something different from what I did in a previous game, and yeah, try to make something that I would really enjoy playing. So yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Summary, release date next year sometime.
Yeah, that's good. Because I was looking and you put 2025 on here.
Yeah, it's on the trailer 2025. Yeah, I had high hopes, but
it's okay.
When I started,
I mean,
I think that's a thing in the gaming industry. Like it's just because it's like one of those things where people are like, I'm going to release this time this year. And then it's like, it's not ready. And if you release it, people are going to be like, great. What did you just release? So
yeah,
exactly. Sure. You only get one chance to make that.
Exactly. Yep.
First good impression.
Plus you don't have to worry about that other game, cause it's this year. I'm sure. Go bust that year. No, I'm just kidding. But no, for real.
Nice competition.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you said your last game, I would say, is it similar to this one, or is it a totally different game, or?
We're Not Alone was fairly different. No combat, because combat was a terrifying thing to try and implement. But it was... So, have you ever played old point-and-click adventures from, like, the 90s? A couple of nods there. So I wanted to try and make something like that, but with the ability to pick up the camera and then go first person. So if you need to solve a puzzle, you put the camera down and it's a point-and-click adventure. Pick the camera up to go exploring. So it was, it was interesting. It was difficult to market because how do you show that in screenshots? So that was really difficult to kind of explain what the game was. And yeah, it's still a horror game, still just like really cool mystery. People seem to really enjoy the story, which was really nice to hear. Because when you're writing something, making something, well, at least I do, I think it's kind of trash. and I don't have much confidence in it. And then you release it, and yeah, people like it. It's good. So yeah,
makes
it was
you feel better.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's good. You're like, oh, I actually do know what I'm doing. That's nice to know.
Yeah, I was about to say. It's like when you meet somebody and they're like not very confident, but like you're doing good. No, don't be so like it's trash. Like it's not trash, okay?
Yeah, maybe not trash, just adjacent somewhere.
No, because I'm looking at it and I could see where on your last game where you have the first person moving around and then where they put the camera down. That's a kind of an interesting concept.
Yeah, that is actually.
Yeah, it was a cool mechanic to work with. It's something that had been in my head for ages. It was originally much larger scope, taking place in like a big city where you're like trying to navigate through it. And I'm like, no, make it smaller, because you won't release this before 2030 if you try to do this as like your first big game. But yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed working on that.
You also
and I sent keys to all of you to play it if you'd like to as well.
Yes, please.
I was just watching it and I was thinking, imagine if you did that, right? I know this is not, you're working on Decaying Salvage, right? But imagine if you did that with like a game like Decaying Salvage where you put the camera down, but then something crazy happens and then you're at that point of view, but you're trying to protect yourself. That would give you so much anxiety. Just like looking at it like, oh, and you're trying to do it, but the camera is your point of view and it's not the person. So if you're moving around, the camera you can only see what the camera sees.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy.
Yeah, there's a few instances of that. It's like, hey, the character's going to go to bed, so you put the camera down, you're walking off, and then something comes in behind, like so the character can't see it, but you can. Yeah, it was just cool being able to do somewhat unique things with that mechanic.
You're yelling at your own character like, turn around, right behind you. You're like, oh yeah, by the way, it's me.
By the way, it's me.
Oh, good. That's a pretty cool concept.
Oh, thank you.
So when you were making Decaying Salvage, so I'm not too familiar with. I'm not a game dev. If you couldn't tell, when you build all these and you're placing them, is it a lot like when you're doing a 3D model of a stage or whatever? Do you have to place your cameras in all these different spots? Like how they have like camera A and B and stuff like that. Like you were shooting a movie. Is that kind of like how?
Yeah, basically. So there's inactive cameras placed in all the camera angles that I need, and then it just basically you've got a trigger in the scene when the character goes over it. It'll just flick to what it needs next.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, so it's been interesting because with We Are Not Alone, every single room was a separate thing, so it'd be a loading screen in between. So it was very easy to change the camera angles, not have to worry about hitting those triggers and changing. But yeah, with this one, it's been a lot different because I've got to set up all these subsystems for when it goes to another room, changes the camera angle, and then also needs to disable stuff that you don't see.
Because I always wonder about that, because I know that when you do like 3D staging work or like level work, it's always like, where do you want to put this camera and when do you want to put that camera? And if you don't know how to place it, it gets kind of annoying. You're like, oh, I just want to put it here, and and then I probably figuring you probably coded like if this person comes to this spot, this camera clicks on and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
basically, and a lot of design work goes into knowing. You need to be able to visualize the room first, because when you've got like a door that the character comes in, I'll just do little walkie fingers, a door that the character comes in and a door that they need to be going out of, you do need those both to kind of be visible. You don't want it off camera because that will just confuse the player. So it's basically do a tiny little thing made out of boxes just to figure out exactly how you can do the viewpoints you need.
So, and I'm guessing I know they probably do this with other games. Actually, I do know they do it with some games. But did you make a storyboard before you created Decaying Salvage for like where you wanted things to
general be? Kind of like general notes, not like a full written out storyboard. The only board I really use, I hope this doesn't break things, but you can see on the back of my door. Oh no, you can't see on the back of my door. It's blurry. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, that was a little adventure in your room.
Yeah.
Lots of cool stuff in there.
Just got this giant corkboard with like a list of everything that I want to put into it.
Okay.
It's kind of like a project management thing, and then I move it across as I go.
Okay.
But yeah, so I've got notes of where I want the story to go, what I want each ship to be, kind of based around. You've got ones that are overgrown with vines, and that's going to be part of the creatures that are on there.
So there's multiple ships in this game.
Yeah, so there's about 4 ships at the moment. In the demo you played, people probably know it. It's the I call them the stonemasons. They're like living statues, which is a Doctor Who reference. There is going to be kind of like the infested plant ship where everything's overgrown and they kind of taken over the minds of people. And then one that's kind of demonic-y, completely rusted out. Okay. I just wanted some variation between the ships. So it's not an increasing roster of enemies where you've got like the zombie, then you're encountering the lickers and the tyrant and all that kind of stuff. It's all segmented off into their own ships.
Yeah, so I like that. So you're kind of like hopping from ship to ship, and then each ship is like, oh no, I shouldn't. This ship's worse than the last one.
I'm going back. Going back to the other ship.
I want to go back to my older ship.
Can there just be one good ship? Like, where's the good ship?
Yeah, and that all ties into the story. It's like, why are all these left things in this place?
That's awesome. That's a really. I don't think we were in one ship on the demo, right?
Yeah. So you're on the first third of that ship. Yeah.
I'm about to say, and so you're creating kind of a big universe with all that, like writing. This ship has these enemies, and this is going on. Probably some extra characters, NPCs popping in there, like.
Yeah, so there'll be a few other NPCs. There's this, janitor person that someone suggested I put in. Don't go in there, man.
Let's put him on the third ship. That's about it.
Yeah, put me on the worst ship ever. I'm like, it's not a good idea.
Is this the audition for that character?
He's got the part. It's fine. But so each ship will have like kind of a slow narrative of what happened on that ship. But the main narrative takes place on the player's ship as they get each part that then unlocks further into their own ship. So the first part is that, they need oxygen to survive. So they need to find which ship has the oxygen part, go back, and that will open up the ship a bit more, unlocking their personal story. And the main ships that you travel to are the ones that have like these little side stories of what happened there, details about the survivors.
So you're saying there's a different playable character in each ship?
No. So you play. That's okay. No, that's okay. You play as Jordan going onto these ships to find the part you need, and then coming back to your own ship.
She's on my other screen right now. I really like. Now that I know that there's even more of a universe, that just is like, that's a lot.
Yeah, more content for us to play.
Yeah, it's a fair bit, but I think it's not that I think it is doable. There we go. Confidence.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, it sounds like you really are like super like this is kind of what you want to do. So I would definitely stick the course, because having one ship, like most of the games that we play, like what was that other game you were talking about? That's one of my favorite games, and I forgot the name of it because I'm old and that's how my brain works. That other space game, you know what I'm talking about. But a lot of that's on one ship, but bouncing between ships, that's actually a pretty cool. I don't know if I've seen that. It might be out there. I just don't know if I've seen it.
Yeah, I thought the ships won't be massive. That's the thing. Just don't want to risk. That's way overblowing scope and what I can do.
They're not massive. They're just regular ships.
Yeah, just while the ships themselves are big, but what you've got access to will be smaller.
Yeah, that's regular ship with no maps. No maps.
Can I say as a gamer, don't make anything that doesn't need to be there. Nothing makes me more annoyed than when you're like excited to go into this room and there's just nothing there, and you're like, what enough? Why did I even do? Then you get so mad. You're like, whatever, dude.
I agree with you there. That's completely fine. I think I had one room in We Are Not Alone that had no purpose to it, and that was it.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
But having no purpose is the purpose itself. So
yeah,
might be a safe room.
But I mean, has anybody here ever played a game like that where you just like you're dead set on getting this area and you get to there and you're like,
Yeah.
there's got to be something here. So you're just like there for like 15, 20 minutes, like, am I missing something? Is there? And then you're finally like, screw it, I'm leaving. You find out later it had nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, well, why did I even do that?
Yeah. So
Or you can have secret rooms.
that too.
You know?
So I guess in order to kind of design the ships like as a map, I would say is you would probably have to know how like ships are designed from the beginning, because like you can't just have random stuff in there, say, oh, this is a spaceship, whatever. But so I guess you've done like quite a few or quite a good amount of like research, I guess.
Yeah, I've watched a lot of sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah,
that makes sense. That makes sense.
So that's why like you start, like shuttle bay, engine decks lower down, things like that. Just how a ship would kind of function.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is out of all your sci-fi? What is your favorite ship type out of all the different types of sci-fi? Like out of all, like you got Galactica, Star Trek, Star Wars.
I like big ships. So stuff like ones that actually you think that people could actually live in. Like cities in space, like so capital class ships. Like your Star Trek, your Enterprise, things like that. Just things that are big, beautiful, and you can actually live in. Those are my favorite kinds of ships.
The kind of ships that if like something blows a hole in it and like they lose like 300 people, like, that's not a big deal. Just seal that bad boy up.
Yeah, and every week the warp reactor can go critical, and that's it. Yeah,
we need 300 more people. We just lost some. Yeah,
but I really did like with the Expanse the way they did their ships. A lot of it, it's using ladders to get around. Like that was really cool. That was something really unique.
Kind of like a submarine, like a Navy submarine kind of deal.
Yeah.
That old rustic feel.
Mm.
I thought right there, Anthony, you were trying to tell us you had a ladder behind you when you did that with your arm.
I know,
like there's a ladder. There's a ladder. So yeah, so how far into building all the different ships have you gotten?
So most of them, all of them are written down, like what the various like story beats are for them. As well as what is going to be on the ship in terms of monster design, things like that. I've finished probably in terms of gray boxing, so just like getting the feel of everything and how it needs to be, the rooms and the list of events. Because like you don't want just rooms connected to rooms without knowing what's going to be triggered where. So most of the planning is done for everything. Just working on construction for the other ships as well at the moment. So it's making good progress. It's kind of hard to give a percentage.
Oh, yeah. I believe it.
Yeah, progress is good. It's a lot better going than when I was making We Are Not Alone. That was a huge learning experience. This is putting everything into practice, and it's so much smoother now.
Okay.
I feel like every game you make, you're probably going to just like better and better.
You get better as you make more games or involved in more projects. So I would assume like even if one game like that you release doesn't sell like too well, then it's just it's still like a learning process. And I heard like releasing one game itself, that's a huge success, because a lot of people just start developing and they're like, I can't even do this anymore, and they just like quit. So there's like a lot of games, I think I'm pretty sure like on Steam they're there, but they're not progressing at all. Like they're not going anywhere because the dev quit or it's just there. So
yeah, I went through my wish list recently. I'm like, I wonder what this game's up to. Check it. No update, no forum post for a couple of years. I'm like, sad. I was looking forward to that.
Yeah, exactly.
I know, right? That's the worst. You're like, I can't wait to what?
And this one dev.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
This one dev. They made this point-and-click zombie adventure game probably like 10 years ago called Metal Dead, and they teased a sequel right at the end. Probably twice a year I messaged them. I'm like, hey, what's happening with the sequel? And they're like, oh yeah, things happened, but we're still working on it. So there's a couple of devs that I try keep in contact with.
After 10 years, they're not out. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's, it's funny too. You said that because I was trying to look up the number of abandoned games, or if like there's like a number out there, and I guess that's why Steam actually added a new warning to early releases. Says Valve warns millions of Steam users about early access games and not keeping up with them or something like that.
Yeah, I saw that the other day. Can't remember what the game was, but it says, early access, and then there's this big orange thing underneath. It's like, oh, this game hasn't seen an update in X amount of months. And I'm like, oh, that's actually really good to see.
Yeah, because I know there's been so many times, like you were saying, that I'm like super excited for an early access game, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to play this, or it's been out for a little bit. And my friend's like, dude, did you look at the last time someone's even touched that game? And I said, no, why? And I'll look, and I'm like, holy cow, like... Maybe that's a bad idea, because you're like, why has this game got mixed reviews? It looks so good, and then it's all like abandoned.
I mean, I guess like if I mean, as long as at least the least thing that the dev can do is say like, oh, I'm sorry, this is not going to be happening, whatever. Apologize to the people who have been supporting, but like some devs are just like, just leave, like. Leave everything, like Discord is
just drop it.
They just drop it and just like leave, and like we have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few just leave because the response they'll get either way isn't going to be good. So it's better to just kind of disappear into the ether.
Yeah,
and
I guess.
I was about to say, and that's why it's kind of cool to see like how you have your own page.
Yes,
because at least you can tell your community like, hey, this game is and I don't think it's anything wrong for a developer to ever be like, look, this game is running its course. I've done everything I can for it. This was just, I'm moving on to the next game. That's better than just being like, not letting people know, I guess, especially if they're just really like loving your game and they want more content. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's honestly, having that community tab and be like, hey, listen, this is it for it now, or I'm one man and I've built 3 ships. Dang it, I got a couple more to go. Leave me alone. Like I'm working as fast as I can. Just a sad face. No, but that's just really nice to be able to have that too, because gamers just get really like, I know I do. So I get really like connected to a game, and then you're just like, you're loving it, and then when you find out that that's it, you're like sad. You know what I mean? So the fact that you said at least you're making it, George said at least you're still doing it, didn't leave, that's actually a huge
that's a huge success right there, just in
that's
itself.
A huge success.
Got a quick question. Like, so you said you're a full-time indie dev, like, so how do you, I guess, like, is there like any financial support for you, or like how do you kind of pull it off as an indie dev?
How do I keep myself alive?
Yes. There you go.
So before this, I worked for like 15 years in IT.
Okay.
Moved up the ladder a fair bit and decided, that I was sick of it and wanted to try something new. In terms of external stuff, so I'm not just eating into savings. There are grants that the Australian government provides. While I've applied for many, I still haven't got one. They're difficult to get. But yeah, it's a place called Screen Australia. And you've got to do a ton of paperwork. You've got to have a prototype. You've got to have trailers, pitch videos, all that kind of stuff. But I know a few people who've gotten it, which is really good. And this time I'm feeling kind of confident. But they provide up to $100,000 for development. It can be different stages. That's Australian, so US it'll be a fair bit less. But yeah, it's for development. It can even be for like a prototype for pitching to publishers, things like that. But yeah, it's a really good thing. There's just a ton of work that goes into it when you're trying to make a demo. You're trying to do all the social media kind of stuff as well. It's really full on sometimes.
But
that's crazy.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good point, especially for those indie devs who kind of worried about what their life is going to be once they kind of go full time, or because going full time means you're like dedicated into this one project and you're going to be obviously focusing into this one thing, but then you still you need some kind of financial support, or I don't know, like income in that way, because in order to, I don't know, buy food and just survive.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think in Australia, you said there is a program in Australia. I think there are a lot of programs around the world too. Like, I know there's like a lot in Korea too. I'm pretty sure like the US has big ones too as well. I mean, I know it's like tax money of it. Obviously, I guess it's like an investment from the government. So you definitely need to be well prepared. You're not gonna just walk in there and be like, "Oh, can I have some money?" and just give it to you. That's not how it works. You need a bunch of trailers, documentations, prep work, all that. So I think that's really
good. I can understand why they'd want all that though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Given the nature of how fickle it could be, but I tried to look up gaming grants and stuff in America, and I got loan.
Yeah. I mean,
so if you tank, I guess you just go bankrupt. I'm not too sure how that works out, but
yeah. I mean, I guess there are some good ones. And also, if you're lucky, I guess if you're lucky enough, I guess you can talk to kind of like indie game dev or indie game investors. There are some out there. I know. Recently, actually, I saw a post by Sham, the CEO of Arrowhead. He posted on a LinkedIn fund called Almost Ready Game or something that they kind of support the indie game devs who are almost ready to launch the game or who are kind of in the process. So then I really thought that was really, really cool idea. And having someone who's as big as, Arrowhead Studios, supporting this. I don't know if they're like directly supporting them, but I think the CEO Sham was one of the people like who founded it. So I guess you can kind of try to find other like outside sources for that too, like not just the government, but there are some indie game investors who are willing to kind of spend their money and
there's quite a lot around.
Networking and all that to help out your game. So
the really good thing with Screen Australia is that it's a grant, like they don't recoup any of it. So if you do get it, it helps with so many things.
That's really good.
Because things like voice acting and music, like composers, they're so expensive. Worth it, completely worth it, and they deserve all that money. But yes, it's a very pricey thing to be putting in.
I was just say I just love it when the thought of that, because it's just having I would love to be somewhere where your company your country invests in your endeavors. You know what I mean? Because it can't be easy. I mean, we all know, all four of us know it's not easy. But you know what I mean? Well, especially if you're like you said, you're like, I just wanted to make a game and I wanted to do it, and you had the skills and you went out and did it. So it's nice to have someone support you on that, right?
So I think I'll hear June or something like that. So there's still a few months until I know for sure.
Okay, you got to let us know though.
See? Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yes.
I'm gonna say too. Do you have like a page on Minimap as well? For a game?
No.
Think they've been set up. I think We're Not Alone, Set the Chance, and Decaying Salvage are on.
I set up they're in our database though, so don't worry. And also, if you join Minimap, I guess I can help out with promoting. I guess you can freely promote your game there. We have a lot of gamers, so. And also, I'm always. I
said it to everybody.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, three of us are really all in for indie game dev. So I'm always trying to help out. So.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Love them. I really look forward to the game coming out next year, or hopefully,
thank you,
early next year, right?
Hopefully. We'll see.
Hopefully.
It depends when GTA and Silksong come out,
Okay, you got to avoid that.
It's so smart. He's like, depends on when this happens.
Yeah.
I added it to my wish list.
So I think I did too.
Oh, thank you.
Do that. So,
and I also followed your company.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and if you haven't already, please wish list the game at Decaying Salvage. And if you also are interested, you should probably play We're Not Alone as well, which is already released by Andrew.
He's got another game too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seventh Chance was my first one with the
$2.
COVID lockdowns. Yeah, I started making something. It's like a 20-minute experience, but it was
nice.
something. I released it.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I had a quick question of Decaying Salvage. How long is the playtime for the game to expect?
So expecting probably 5 to 6 hours.
5 to 6 hours, okay.
I need to get more data on how long it's taking people to get through the demo, and then I can kind of extrapolate from there how long the entire game will take. But yeah, at least 5 to 6 hours.
That's nice. That's a good amount for a story game.
It's gonna be 10 hours for me.
Yeah, with We're Not Alone, some people finished it in 3, some people finished it in like 8. So it was just like a really weird.
Oh,
like
I know. I know one thing. I'm gonna die a lot. I already died a lot during the demo.
Oh, you died in the demo?
I did. Yeah.
Dude, you should have seen Anthony play one of the games. Like it's called like Symphony or something. Which one game was that?
Please don't. We're not gonna talk about that one.
Yeah, so he streamed one of the games. It's like a Metrovania or something. I don't know. Like he kept dying, and I saw he swore so many times. I was like, it was so funny. I was like working and then listening to Anthony say, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh shoot, oh shoot, oh shit," and I was like enjoying it so much. So yeah,
that's okay, Anthony. I die a lot too.
Yeah, that was good.
We could die together.
That was good. That's a good experience.
I'm notorious for being the first person to die in any survival game we played. They're like, "Who died?" And I was like it was you, was it? I was like, "Yes, it wasn't me."
Wait, so in Decaying Salvage, what happens if you die? What happens if you die? Do you go back to
so you can die, but there's a decent checkpoint system.
Okay.
There will be another save system.
Yeah.
It's kind of going to be the difficulty change, whether you've got autosave checkpoints or you want more of a traditional I go to a save room kind of thing.
It's not roguelike or anything, right?
That'd be fun if you put typewriters on the spaceship, like the Resident Evil typewriters. Like everything's fancy except for a typewriter. Like
exactly, they use typewriters and VHS, for their media. That's it.
Hey, that game, that Blood Typers game, you save your game with old film reels.
Oh, that's cool.
It's weird, but it's cool.
Awesome. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to say to the people who wants to play your game or wishlist or play it later on? The fans.
Please go wishlist, and thank you for watching. Like that's it.
Okay.
And thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thanks for coming on.
Actually,
it's been really nice.
And we're gonna put this in the about section, right, for the video, the store page.
Yeah.
So people can get to it.
Yeah. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, me. Yes, yeah. I'll chuck it in. Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I was talking to them, but it's whatever.
Okay.
I guess.
Okay, I mean, we'll do it. We'll do whatever.
I can put this in the community thing on Steam. There we go. I'll link to it.
Awesome. And also,
and I'll mention it in my videos and stuff. So.
I just like to link all the games I'm playing in my YouTube description right at the top.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. I got. I mean, I got that part, of course. If you click it, it's gonna take you to the store page. Yes, I got it. I got that. But anyways, yeah.
Sorry. Overstep my bouncer.
So I think that wraps up this episode. Yes. So and thank you for coming. We would actually love to have you back when when the game is actually released in 2026.
Yeah, definitely.
If you like talking with us, I mean,
George is trying to make me cry right now.
Yeah.
Don't you do it, George.
No, this has been really good. I was nervous going into doing a podcast, but it's been pretty cool. So
awesome.
I'd love to come back.
We try to make it as casual as possible, but I mean, sometimes we can kind of get tired after talking to 3 of us because, and one of the episodes we hit almost like 2-hour mark, and then he was like, okay. But anyways, okay, so I think that wraps it here. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't already, like I said, wishlist the game. I'm gonna have all the links to the Steam page and Minimap game page on this video description, so check that out. And also, I think that's about it. Oh, and also I got one announcement for Minimap. We recently partnered up with Toge Productions, and you can actually you can buy Coffee Talk 2, and A Space for Unbound on Minimap store now. So go check that out too.
Nice.
It's a game where you talk to coffee.
Yes. I don't know. This is an announcement, but before doing that, please wishlist Decaying Salvage. Please.
Yes. Wishlisted and follow so you can see what's going on.
Yes, and join the Discord, follow him on Twitter and all the social channels as well. That helps a lot. I know that. All right. Thank you all for coming. And I will see you guys next week, hopefully. And Andrew will keep talking on Discord.
Cool. Sounds great.
All
Thank you very much.
Not on here. We're not going to keep going.
I'm not. Okay, bye everyone. Thank you for watching or listening.
No.
Bye.
I hate this.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Don't ever do a podcast again. It's so sad. And now I got to go sit on the couch and be upset after this is all over. Like, there goes all my friends.
And cry.